Kar Hala, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahweh Shai, Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahweh Shai, Brakate Yahweh, Brakate Yahweh Shai, Tawada, Abba, Abba, Kal Kadash. I will give double honors to the elders, apostles, great millstone that rule well. And the lesson today is going to be on coming out of the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 32. And it's going to go when Moses, and Moses was a prophet also, when Moses was speaking to the people of Israel, and it's after he told them about the curses and everything that was going to happen. And we're going to start off in Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 21. And we're going to read on down. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not God, Yahweh. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those which are not a people. Talking about not a people, you're talking about these other nations, man. The Lord considered them almost not a people, man. They're really nothing to him. He has this people, and that's the tribe of Israel. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation. So he's going to provoke us to anger. He's going to make us jealous of these heathen nations, man, because we went off, Let me go further into it. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains. I will heap mischief upon them. I will send mine arrows upon them. And he's talking about the fire and brimstone, and also the ICBM missiles. And if you look at an ICBM missile, it almost resembles that of an arrow, And they shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of beasts upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. And they talk about the beasts. The Lord is going to unleash the beasts on them also. These animals, even these animals that we don't know about. Talking about Leviathan and Behemoth. All these things are going to come out, and the Lord is going to use them to punish the nations, man. And mainly our people too, the 2/3 for going off. Verse 25, the sword without terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin and the suckling, also with the man of gray hair. So he's not going to discriminate, man. He's young, old, all going to get it, for going off, man. The Lord told us the repercussions of going off and what was going to happen. And I said, I will scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them to cease from among men. And what the Lord do, he scattered us all over, the four corners of the earth. And now people pretty much forgot about us. We don't have a history. Our memory's been wiped clean, and we don't even know who we are. And a lot of people of other nations don't know who we are. But the higher ups, they know exactly who we are, So they pretty much erased everything about us. The Lord, Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, pretty much erased everything about us, man, for going off. Verse 30, how should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had sold them and the Lord had shut them up? For their rock is not as our rock, even our enemies themselves being judges. For their vine is the vine of Sodom and the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are the grapes of gall, their clusters are bitter. Their wine is the poison of dragons and cruel venom and asps. And let me go back to 28, leading up to this. Let me go back to 27. Where if it not that I feared the wrath of the enemy, let their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, lest they should say, our hand is high, and the Lord hath not done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. On that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. And talking about these other nations. And said, how should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 to flight, except their rock had been sold them, and the Lord has shut them up? We're going to drop down to verse 35. To me belongeth vengeance and recompense. Their foot shall slide in due time, for the day their calamity is at hand, and the things that shall come upon them make haste. For the Lord is in all caps talking about Yahweh, shall judge his people and repent himself for his servants. And when he seeth that their power is gone, and there is none shut up or left, and he shall say, where are thy gods, their rock, in whom they trusted? So they're going to call on these other gods, our people, which became like the heathen, calling on Muhammad, Buddha, and all these other deities that they worship, and Baal, all these things our people began to worship. And the Lord is going to say, okay, we're your God. Make them come and save you during this time. Which they eat the fat of their sacrifices and drink the wine of their drink offerings. Let them rise up and help you and be your protection. So the Lord is pretty much being, he's saying, okay, you got all this, so let him come. Where is he at? Let him come help you, Pretty much being facetious, telling people, okay, call on your God. Where is he at now? That's who you want to give your sacrifices to. That's who you want to give your time to. See what he's going to do for you in your time of trouble. So now that I am he, and there is no God with me. Ain't no other God with him. He's the one and only. The one and only true living God, the Lord of hosts, All these other fake deities, man, they're nothing but wood and stone, Verse 39, see now that I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, I make alive, I wound, I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand. So he's the one that puts you to death. He's the one that sanctions all these things, No man on this earth or anything dies on this earth unless it's sanctioned by the Lord. And nobody, no life is given on this earth unless it's given by the Lord. It has to go through him. For I lift my hand to heaven and say, I live forever. If I whet my glistening sword, and my hand take hold of judgment, I will render vengeance to mine enemies, and I will reward them that hate me. And that's including you Israelites, man. You ones that's going off, you 2/3 niggas, the Lord is going to destroy you, man. He's not going to bring you into the kingdom of heaven being niggas, man. If your pants sagging down, acting a fool, committing adultery, just all these foul things that the Lord frowns upon, that he tells us not to do. You're not coming into the kingdom of heaven. The Lord is going to wipe you out on this side, man. You're going to have to come back through the loins of the elect. And you women that's going off, man. You women that's out here, I don't need a man. I'm a boss bitch and all that type shit. These modern day women, you're going to be destroyed too, along with these 2/3 wicked ass niggas, man. All y'all going to be destroyed together. I will render vengeance to my enemies, and I will reward them that hate me. Because you're doing these things, you hate the Lord. By you hating his laws, statutes, and commandments, that's telling the Lord that you hate him. So the Lord he's going to sharpen his sword, man. Ain't nothing like that sharp sword. That means he's going to hit you all kind of ways, man, with the famine, the pestilence, the ICBM missiles, the fuel of fire, all these things, man. The Lord is going to send your way. And even the beast of terror, these things are going to come at you. I will make mine arrows drunk with blood, and my sword shall devour flesh. And that with the blood of the slain and of the captives from beginning, revenges upon the enemy. Rejoice, O ye nations, with his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants, and will render vengeance to his adversaries, and will be merciful unto his land and to his people. And this always goes back to the time when Yahushua was here, man, on the cross, when our wicked ass niggas, these wicked niggas, man, went and handed them over to the Romans, man, to be persecuted. And and they mocked the Lord, and they, they struck the Lord, and all these things, and the Lord said, you know, He's going to reward them for what they done, man. At that time, the Lord said on the cross, He said, forgive them for they know not what they do. And during that time, when He made that statement, it's only to those, because amongst the crowd, you had some of the elect. At that time, they may not have received the Holy Spirit, but they were amongst those people. Because that goes back to the Apostle Paul. During the time before he became Apostle Paul, he was there when when one of the apostles was killed. When they stoned him to death. I think it was his name, man. Shalakia for that, man. But you know what I'm talking about. They stoned him to death, and he went up to be with Yahushua. And okay, verse 44. And Moses came and spake all the words of the song in the ears of the people, the Hoshea the son of Nun. And Moses made an end of speaking all these words to all Israel. So he was telling these people back during that time, he was even prophesying, by you going off, this is what's going to happen. And the Lord already has sanctioned these things were going to happen. When you already wrote the book, we're going to have a majority of our people going to go off. The 2/3, they're going to be destroyed along with the heathen. The Lord gave us our laws, statutes, commandments to go by. So it's not like we didn't have a standard to go by. He gave this to us, and we dropped the ball. And that's talking about we're talking about Israel as a whole, and that's why we're going through the curses that we're going through. But out of that, the Lord is going to save a remnant of His people. The 144,000, the elect, and the 1/3. Which is going to consist of men, women, and children. But I just want to kind of hit that topic because it goes all the way back to Deuteronomy. He's already talking about the missiles. He's already talking about our people being scattered about, all over the four corners of the earth, amongst the heathen. He's talking about the Lord's going to get vengeance, man, for us going to hell off. And on the heathen too, because Lord said they are which are not a people to Him. Because, they're proud as fuck, they're doing all type of abominable things, and let me go back to verse 32. For their wine is the wine of Sodom, and the fields of Gomorrah. Their grapes are grapes of gall, but their clusters are bitter. And that wine is that wine of like that Babylon juice that she's, promoting all over the world, man. The alphabet community type shit. The is pushing that men being together and women being together, and just this sodomy and all type of wickedness, man. It's just all hell is going loose. This devil is just pretty much turned up. And with that, I pray this lesson edifying. With that, I'm going to close it here and on to the next.